question of prevent is one that comes up locally very often. There have been widespread concerns from a number of human rights organisations about its implementation. Luton is a prevent town, so we've borne the brunt of a lot of that here.
Yes, we should get rid of prevent because it is not... it's a toxic policy that has not achieved the protection of our people in our country. That's the short answer. The Labour Party manifesto sets out that it wants to conduct a review in light of that, and we would seek to look to safeguard people from the threat of extremism. I was very pleased to see a specific response around tackling the rise of the far-right extremism, and that we need an independent inquiry into that primarily. And as a local councillor, I've often raised that because for me the biggest threat is the rise of the far right, and we know that it is pernicious. It has led to the rise of increased hate crime, the use of racist language, which is endorsed by our own Prime Minister, and that absolutely needs to be tackled.
Now, if you're going to have a blanket approach, you're not going to be successful. They tried it in the 70s with the Irish community, and they've done it again with the Muslim community now. The very community you're hoping to bring inside, you can't isolate. You can't expect children to spy on their parents, or doctors to spy on their patients, and still expect an outcome which is to root out extremism. So the strategy is flawed. Everybody agrees with it. We've got to change it, and the more vocal we are across the political spectrum, the more chance we've got of getting something successful instead of the strategy of prevent.
To myself, prevent, as name suggests, is a disgusting name. It's designed to prevent Muslims from practicing their faith. Why couldn't our politician in the Westminster come up with a better name? Engage with our communities, don't prevent them. The way the prevent is currently used in our schools, in hospitals and everywhere else, is disgusting. If I am elected as a member of parliament, I can assure you, independent member, I will be standing in that house and make these parties accountable.
I have had some dealing with the prevent team in Luton, but obviously I can't go into details about that. My concern, as others have said, is that when you use the word prevent, it is automatically a negative. It's not positive. As I said, I've spent my life working with young people, and actually what I saw going from teaching, and I often joke that I left teaching because I was interested in learning, going from teaching into youth work, what often happens with young people is that people see them as a problem, and they don't actually give them any credit or any support in order to develop as human beings that can contribute to society. So, from my perspective, prevent hasn't worked. It's completely arse backwards, if you excuse my French. What we need to be doing is looking at how do we engage with those young people who may be at risk of getting drawn into things.
Been proud to stand alongside LCM on this issue, and I'd like to think I'd stand alongside everyone that's affected by prevent. It needs to be scrapped. Simple as that. I want to say a couple of other things though. I don't know how you felt today when you heard the news about what had happened in London Bridge, but it made me think how we as a community sigh twice when these things happen.
Indeed, yeah.
First of all, our heart breaks for the people affected, and then we think about the implications for us as a community. Because what happens is people so easily tar our town with this kind of rhetoric.
I don't think prevent is effective. It's counterproductive. Instead of engaging with police, it's turning people away. So we need to find an alternative solution. The Green Party would replace prevent with community policing. They would try and build a closer relationship between the community and the police, and that would enable information to be shared with the police and to make the streets of Luton hopefully a safer place.
Prevent was started back in 2008, or back end of 2008. I remember there was money available in the Home Office, but yet the local authorities had to apply for it. And it was a different concept when it first started. And I said then, and I say again, it won't work. because the way they perceived this pot of money to be spent, and it's proven today that it is something that should have never started, and we should scrap it immediately. Maybe we need to look at the safeguarding issues and sort of resource that, but there has to be a pilot scheme if we're going to do something for the betterment of the community. I said that scrap then, scrap it now. Thank you.